Okay, let's look at a boiler system. First of all, the most important component is a boiler. Okay, and this boiler is tubeless boiler. Then we have a passage for firing. And this is your amount of boiler will be filled up. And we have a burner with a nozzle. So there will be a center, at the center will be firing towards bottom. And each of these boiler will be filled with a water tank. So it starts with the water tank, and then we have a fuel tank. This is most important essential components. So we'll name it as water tank. And this is fuel tank. Okay. Now for the boiler, the most important thing is need to be fed with water. Water supply. So comes with the feed water pump. So this is feed water pump. So this feed water pump will be pumped into a boiler. And in between this, there's a 2 check valve. This is 2 check valve over here. In order to avoid the pressure, back pressure from the boiler. Then here we will have a fuel supply line for the burner. So this is fuel supply and this is your water supply. Then we will have a blow down tank, a blow down line. This is our blow down line and this is your blow down valve. So this blow down will go to a blow down tank. So this is called blow down tank. And this is blow down valve. Blow down valve. Now, once this boiler is pressurized, we have a passage to release the pressure, and we have a main steam valve. Main steam valve. And this main steam valve will create a saturated pressure, saturated steam. And this saturated steam will be going into another component which is called superheater. We have a superheater, and this superheater has a coil and it will produce a superheated steam. And individually this superheated tank is fired by a burner supplied from the same fuel tank. So this is your burner. And once this superheated steam, which is up to 230 degrees Celsius, will be drive into a turbine, steam turbine. We have a single stage turbine. And this single stage turbine is connected to a genset. So once this superheated steam drives the turbine, we will have a condensate steam which goes through a condenser. So this is a condenser. And the steam, condensate steam, will be pumped back by a condensate pump back to a water tank. So we have a water tank, this condensate water will be back to, so this is called condensate water line. This condenser will be supplied with the cooling water from our cooling tower. So we have a cooling tower. Okay, this is our cooling tower. So this is called cooling water, and this will be a hot water after coming out from the condenser will be going into a cooling tower. So this is our cooling tower, and this, from there you have a dissipation of heat and come back to a condenser unit. So we have, this is a main important pipeline supply, our main components that we have in our system. Now, the most important thing is 13 essential fittings. You need to know what is the 13 essential fittings. So, let's look at the 13 essential fittings. The most important fitting is called safety valve. So we must have a safety valve. So with the lever. Then we will have a pressure gauge. And with the pressure gauge attached another attachment called inspector attachment over here. Inspector attachment. And we have another essential fitting which is called as fusible plug. It's a fusible plug to disconnect the fuel line if the boiler is overheated. And we have side glass, the most important component, side glass, to visualize the amount of water in the boiler. And then we have another component called water column. In this water column, we have 3 probes. Okay, there will be 3 probes with a different length. So these 3 probes will give us the low water alarm. Okay, and then low fuel cut off alarm. Okay. Then in the boiler there must be a manufacturing plate, and you must have a registration plate which is called PMD, Permit Machine Dangdang, given by the DOSH. So let's check what is the 13 essential fittings over here. The first essential fitting is the safety valve. We have a safety valve. Number 2, we have a pressure gauge. Then we have inspector attachment, number 3. We have a fusible plug, number 4. We have main steam valve, number 5. We have a side glass, number 6. We have low water alarm, number 7. We have low fuel cut-off system, number 8. When we have feed water pump, number 9. We must have a check valve, number 10. We must have manufacturing plate, number 11. PMD number 12. And blow down valve, number 13.